What is good?
What's poppin'? We here. Shakey Vibe Podcast.
Facts.
Episode 17.
Sax was good. Trauma was good. Nico was good.
The network is in the building.
Yeah, what is poppin'? I'm excited. I'm fucking hyped, bro.
We're always hype.
I got my Depends on, just in case. Will be fire.
Pee a little.
Chris in the house. What's going on, Chris? Christ. I drank 4 beers and smoked 2.5 blunts, so relax.
We got a big one today. We got a dope fucking episode for everybody today, man.
That's a fact.
How's your week?
My week has been fan-freaking-tastic, brother.
Yeah? How many squirrels you punch?
13.
13.
Nico's always excited. Put the lightsaber down, Nico. Relax.
Shaky Vibe Podcast. Throw some fires in the chat.
We need to see flames because you guys don't understand what's about to happen. Exactly what the fuck was going to happen when the first reaction that I did of this man. I said, I need to talk to this man. And it's a fact. With cheese on it.
I don't see any flames.
The chat's going crazy.
Going crazy.
Virginia was good. Where's Andrea? Is Andrea in? Andrea better be here.
All right, we got some fires. Ray, you ready?
Oh, let's ready. Let's fucking do this. Ladies and gentlemen.
Boys and girls.
I and Shakespeare gladly introduce the Vegas bombshell. The man that will make a grown man cry.
Blah.
The man that is lyrically insane.
Facts.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure and Shake's pleasure to introduce my man fucking Ekoh.
What up? What's up?
My God.
What am I don't know what I'm supposed to.
You're supposed to be Ekoh. You don't have to do nothing.
After that introduction.
How you been, brother? How's it going? Once again, before we get started, I'm pretty sure Shakespeare agrees with me. We are honored and it's a privilege to have you on our podcast.
Facts.
Oh, ain't nothing, man. I'm glad to be here. I appreciate all you guys do, man, and I appreciate the time you spend and supporting what I do and at least listening to it and being genuine and that means a lot to me. It really does. Being vulnerable and the shit that you say.
You make it so difficult to listen to your music sometimes because I already know what I'm gonna get out of an Ekoh track. And I'm like, either he's going to make me lose my mind because he's going to bar his head off, or he's going to make me start thinking about some shit, and then I have to go cuddle my wife.
But it's even harder being a reactor. Not like we want to listen to it as fans, but like it's like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Do I listen to it as a fan and then I can't react to it? Like, what do I fucking do? What do I do?
I mean, I try and make it so that you never really know what you're getting into. You know what I mean? When you turn a song, like I like to try and, whether that's been to my career detriment or to my evolution or whatever it is, I've always tried to step outside. Like I'll go into a box for a few songs, but I never try and stay anywhere for too long. I like to switch it up, and I kind of don't want people to know what they're getting into when they turn a song on. Like it could be anything. It could be some real heartfelt shit. It could be some crazy, it could be some nerd stuff. It could be whatever, but it's always going to be me at the end of the day. And that's really all that I need to focus on is as long as I stay true to myself, all should be okay, at least in my world, which, I have to live with the songs forever. So that's what's most important to me is if I enjoy it.
But I think that's what brings the fans in and that your fans appreciate is they always know your heart's going to be on your sleeve. They always know that, like, you're not gonna sugarcoat shit. You're not gonna fake it. Like your emotions are in every fucking track. So whether it's a more upbeat track or a laid back fucking mellow track, it's always going to be you being you, keeping it 100. And I think that that's what me and Ray, as reactors and fans of your music, but also your fans appreciate, is the fact that you're always going to do you and be you.
I mean, as an artist, you kind of always hope that that translates through. You know what I mean? If you're like, the one thing I know about I don't know anybody else. I know a couple, I'd take that back. I know a couple other people's processes and what they do, people I respect. And I know for us, like, we really care a lot, you know what I mean, about the songs. And I care a lot about how sonically, how the songs come across, and how, if I'm saying something, is it going to be delivered in the right way, or are people going to get what I'm trying to say? There a lot of care goes into what I do, and I say me, but there's a team of like 3 of us that make sure that everything comes across the right way and sounds right and feels right. You know what I mean? It's all feel at one point there's feel, but it also has to match with what you're saying lyrically. And can you be genuine to yourself, and can I be genuine? And I think what it is that right there, like, whether I'm rapping about comic books or skating or addiction or some shit that's going on, like, it's all, I'm 100%, I believe in it. You know what I mean? And I can tell when other people are just kind of phoning it in, and I never wanted to do that. You know, it kind of scares me to get to a point where you start phoning it in.
Well, your crazy ass fans will let you know.
Facts.
That's true.
Your fan base is ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm incredibly fortunate, man. You know, it's great. Like, I was thinking about it the other day, because I've been doing this for like a decade, you know, and nothing really started to catch on until maybe 5-6 years ago. So I went 4 or 5 years with nothing really happening. Me, you know, kind of throwing shit against the wall, seeing if it sticks, figuring out things, and figuring out what's right for me and what my sound is and what I want to say. But from the jump, it was always hard hop, and I always stuck to this, and I always knew that it was important to me, and I knew that it was something that I stuck by and I believed in. And when other people talk shit about it, when other people said it was whatever, I always knew it was something special, because it's something you can hold on to, and it's something that can create like a community, and is a community of something I would want to be a part of. And to see that that actually starts catching on has got to be one of the most fulfilling things that's happened in my life, you know,
Right.
is knowing that it wasn't all for nothing for me, you know, believing in this and sticking to it. And there's been people, I think Still Swell, I just saw like post, he's been around forever. You know what I mean? He's seen it from
Day ones.
from small inception, and it's like it's grown into not anything massive or anything, but it's definitely something that's special. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's an incredibly fulfilling thing, and I'm super fortunate. I feel a lot of pressure from that, not in a bad way, but again, like, I care. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of people who don't really give a fuck or take fans for granted. I went so long without supporters that
Facts.
I know what it's like to not have, to be releasing music into nothingness. And, you know, so I do appreciate every single person that listens and every single person that shares or watches, which is why I try to stay so interactive, but it's not always practical while trying to live a life and continue building, you know, your career.
Mm-hmm.
So there starts to be this weird push and pull, give and take of, I start to feel guilty if I can't be a part of as much, but I'm trying to elevate it and take it further. You know what I mean?
Facts, for sure. So you said, like, push the career, and you said it for the first like 4 or 5 years that you were kind of in the game, you were kind of building your brand like from essentially nothing. When was the moment when you just sat there and had that woo-ha moment where it's like, okay, now I can start pushing this as a career? Like we all know in the beginning, like, you perform and you go to shows, there's really nobody there. you're starting from no numbers on social media. So when was that moment that just you were like, oh shit, like this is a fucking career now?
I mean, I still have those every once in a while because this is a weird job. You know what I mean? I don't have there's not a hours worked, here's your paycheck type thing. Like it's always weird to me. Every fucking month when the money comes in, I'm like, this is crazy. You know what I mean? Like I'm always like, is it gonna come in? What's it gonna be? Like, is it gonna be the same as last time? Or what the fuck happened?
Is this new project gonna fucking do better than the last time? The same? Like 100%.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I mean, I remember when I decided to quit my day job, when I realized I could actually quit my day job. But that was everything for me has been a very slow, gradual build. You know what I mean? And it was like, when it finally got to a point where it was really my girl more than anything was like, you don't have to keep working this job and doing this at the same time. Like you can, you know, she handles my finances better than I do. Cause if I'm in charge of my shit, I'm like, I just go, you know what I mean?
You also live in Vegas, so it's pretty easy to fucking run out of finance in Vegas.
I mean, it could be. I mean, I don't really party.
I couldn't live there.
You seem like a dude that wants to just sit in the jazz club and drink a little bit of, and listen to some music real quick. You don't look like a person that wants to go out there and bang your head against the wall and step in somebody's Jordans, God forbid.
I used to work in nightclub, like before I quit, to do music full time. I was working in nightclubs or day clubs, bussing tables. So like that sort of was my world, but I would never go there to fucking hang out. But I enjoyed working in that environment. It was like, good jobs with good people that paid well. But that's not my shit. Like I'm a diner guy. Like catch me at a diner at midnight. I'll go there with a couple of the homies and kick it. You know what I mean? But that might be because I'm a tour person. You know what I mean? And that's like some real tour shit. Like diners at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, like with your boys after a show. Like that's what we do. So yeah, catch me at a club is not really something. I've performed at nightclubs and I've enjoyed getting paid by them, but I didn't enjoy performing at all. No. It's just not really my vibe, which is weird because I'm from Vegas and that's what you would expect, but I'm also sober and I don't get like triggered or anything, but I'm like, why the fuck am I here? This makes no sense.
How many years now have you been sober?
It'll be 15 in July.
Congrats
Well,
to
congratulations,
that, for sure.
brother.
Thank you.
That is a very big accomplishment. That is very cool.
I appreciate it.
What's
Corona?
What's that?
What's your favorite venue you've performed at?
I mean, that's a tough one, man. There's so many dope venues. I mean, I come from like the very underground hip hop, and punk rock world. So I like really small, shitty venue. Like if you can find me a really small, low ceiling venue that has great sound, like that's my shit right there. I think one of my favorite shows on the tour was Salt Lake City. That was maybe a little too small because we packed that shit out, and it was also in the middle of COVID, and I was like, oh no.
When you say too small, do you mean like under 1,000 kind of thing? Too small? Like
no, I mean like a couple hundred people.
Couple hundred?
Yeah, a couple hundred. Like packing.
Sometimes those are the best though. Like sometimes performing in front of a few hundred people, just fucking losing their mind, going crazy, is just as fun as performing in front of 5,000-10,000 at times, depending.
Yeah, I'd rather play for 400 people sold out than 500 in 1,000 cap room. You know what I'm saying? Just when you
100%.
pack, shows are all about energy anyways, and so when you pack all those people in a small spot, then that shit just goes off.
How excited are you for this upcoming tour you're doing?
I'm super excited, man. I always love going out with Webby. Webby's the homie, and so even just going out on tour, it's always the same crew that we go out with, and so it's fun to get out and play the shows and see the fans, but it's also like getting to see your home, like it's like summer camp going back, you know what I mean?
Facts. First day of school all over again.
Yeah, and by the end you're always like, fuck, All right, definitely good. I'm good.
It's
And
so
then
fucking true.
when you get back, it's like it's back on again, and it's always just great vibes. And I love touring with that crew. I love touring with Webby. So I'm always happy to go out.
Were you fortunate enough to do a little bit of touring during the pandemic?
Yeah, last year I did my first headline tour, um, which was fucking crazy and was awesome. And then I went out with Webby the end of last year. We went out and did a run.
Okay, so you're one of the ones that were fortunate enough that was able to fucking enjoy the road and fucking kind of just keep on keeping on during a fucking time where a lot of people
We were
weren't
just
collecting that
fucking
paycheck.
bobbing and weaving through crazy shit, just hoping that shows didn't get canceled. Oh shit, sorry. We got a dog
Bobbing
in the
and
studio
weaving.
just recently, and she's going wild. So yeah, bobbing and weaving, trying to not get fucked over and not have shows canceled, and some things were weird because with the mandates and all that kind of stuff. So
So
it was
weird.
definitely a weird time to be touring, but it was we had to get out there, man. It had to happen.
That's fire. When you come to Florida, you need to send me a message and let me know. I need to go to one
Is
of
that
your
where you
concerts.
are? You're in Florida?
I'm in Florida, yeah.
Where in Florida?
Tampa.
I played Tampa a few times. I don't remember where we play out there. Tampa, fuck. I can't remember the spot we play out there. But I played there a few times. Florida's a weird place. It's a really weird market to play in. You guys don't get a lot of shows out there, right? Yeah. Same thing with Vegas. Vegas is a really weird market for hip hop. It's like there's not
Yeah.
it's just a weird, yeah, it's a weird thing. But
I
yeah,
went to
definitely when I'm there, I'll definitely hit you up.
You ever
I
hit
mean-
up South? You ever been to South Asia?
No.
I'm in the Philippines.
No shit.
Yeah, we moved out here about 4 years ago. The scene, when I say the scene's wavy as fuck out here, I mean the scene is crazy, crazy live. They go nuts for North American hip hop. They
I'm trying to
eat
go to
that
Thailand
shit.
here pretty soon.
To do some shows or just to fuck around or for both?
I got a buddy of mine owns like the MMA gym out there, and it was just like, dude, come through, hang out, let's go. So
It's
I'm not trying to
fucking
fight. I'm just trying to hang out.
lit. Yeah, for sure. It's Thailand. You don't want to get into a fight.
No, not at all.
That's dope. If you head out there, man, like let's try and get you to fucking just take a short flight over to the Philippines and set up a couple shows for you.
I'm down.
Man,
I'm down to
Shakey-
go in the Philippines.
you gotta wait until I get out there when you're gonna do that, Shakes. You can't just
Shakey Vibe Podcast. We here. We live with your homie Ekoh, and we are now opening up the floor to this chat. This chat is going fucking
they're
bonkers.
going nuts.
So what we'd like to do here on the Shakey Vibe Podcast is we open up the floor a little bit to some of the people in the chat, the fans of the artists that we're interviewing. So right now we just opened up the floor. We are taking some of your questions, so don't be shy, people. Throw your questions in the chat. When are you going to get the next chance to ask this man a question?
The way he
However-
is with his fans is every time.
You said what?
The way you are with your fans is every time. They can ask you anything. I see you on Twitter all over the place.
I try my best.
How old
There's
were
a
you
lot
when you
of
picked
social
up the pen?
platforms, dude. There's more and more and more social
Too many.
platforms, and it just gets more and more difficult to fucking keep up with everything.
So you handle all your socials?
Yeah, for sure.
That's lit. That's dope.
Yeah, I mean, there's always someone who's like, "Oh, we could handle it." I don't want to do that shit. Not
No,
about
for
it.
sure. That's dope. That's dope.
But that's the reason why you're so fucking dope, bro. Because you're just not flashy. You're not showing, but you're dope. You're as dope as the rest of those motherfuckers out there.
I'm trying.
And real.
That's for sure.
And when I tell you real, Ekoh, dude, no other man in this whole entire world besides my father has made me really get into my feelings and almost cry.
Oh man, that's a big deal. Which song?
Firefly got me. The one with your girl.
Save Yourself.
Save Yourself. I almost punched my son in the throat when I heard it. Um, I was just playing, baby. I was never gonna hit him. My girl's in the chat right now. And oh, what was the other one? Save Yourself, Firefly, Numb, and the one that I did, was that Limo, the Bodak Limo. Fucking my memory sucks.
Beskar Lambo?
Mr. Orlando, that one. It didn't make me cry, but dude, I bumped that like 15 times right after.
Oh, that's what's up.
It's just wavy as fuck, bro. And I'm just like, and my girl's now listening to you, and I'm trying to get my kids because these motherfuckers need some real shit in their life instead of this crap that's out there right
substance. Now. Some substance.
Yeah, it's I think that's really dope. Like I listen to a lot of my, like, obviously when you're so close to it and making it, you never know how people are gonna react. And like I've had certain times where I'll write songs and I'll like really be feeling it when I'm writing it, and after the real feeling comes like when you're writing it and maybe the first time listening to it after recording, but then after that it becomes kind of mechanical, like okay, now I need to listen for like mistakes. What needs to be fixed in this mix, like is this kick right, snare, whatever, all that kind of stuff. And so then by the time you put it out, you know, you're almost sick of the song or you've listened to it so many times and
thank you.
I say that all the time. Yeah, and so when you're putting it out, that's why videos are so important too. I remember like West Side. I remember making this fucking dog. I remember making West Side, and I got to show you guys Pickles. This is All the Sauce's mom's dog. It's my producer's mom's dog. I remember making West Side, and that was a song that was like really, really heavy emotional wise. And I put it out we made it and had the mixes done and all that shit. And the first time I watched the video, and I knew what the video was because I was filming it. And we got to the end and I was with my producer and we were just like, are you crying right now? Because I'm crying right now. Oh, look at this dog.
Holy shit.
Yeah, for sure. Like, by the time you get your master back, you've listened to the track so many times that when you get the edit back or one of the first edits back of the music video, that's kind of like hearing the song that you wrote all over again for the very first time.
That's a fact.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse.
Depending on the project, for sure.
Depending on who mixed it.
That's funny.
You open up the floodlines, man. There's like 13 questions here.
Yeah, so I'm gonna pull up one here. We got that girl Heather.
Oh, cool. Yeah, run it.
Heather's asking, how did the Twisted collab come about?
Oh, Twisted?
Yeah, the Twisted.
I saw Twisted. I've known those guys for a minute because I think they're really dope. I've been a fan of them for a while. And they were in Vegas. And I like Monoxide and George, their manager, have been talking to me for a while, for a minute. Like for a while, kind of wanted to put out a project of mine or something, but it never happened. But I ended up just meeting them when they were in Vegas and hung out with them for a couple hours on their tour bus. And they're just some big fucking nerds, dude. Just, you know, we just nerded out on comics and movies and music and shit. And they're just really dope guys. And this was before I really had much going. This is before I went on my first tour with Webby. So this is like 2019, like beginning of 2019. And yeah, we just kind of like developed a relationship, and then they had sent me a song and wanted a verse, and I'm like, absolutely. So
that's lit.
That's dope.
That
is dope.
So Nico is now asking, I'm just gonna pull these up because I didn't realize that like everybody and their mother was just gonna post 17 fucking questions each. So we'll try and get through as many of these as possible. Nico's asking, which one was harder for you to write, Endgame or Suicide Squad?
Endgame for sure. Out of all my though. It's not in there, but out of all my like really nerd rap shit, I think Mandalorian was probably the hardest to write. But out of those two, Endgame, because when I initially wrote Endgame, I wanted to do, when we made the beat, what I wanted to do was, it was right before Endgame had dropped, so I wanted to do like a recap of the entire MCU from like, what would that be, like Captain America all the way to, you know, Infinity War. And so I was just going to recap all the Marvel movies. So instead of, you know, when people would watch like a montage recap of everything. I'm like, you can just listen to the song on the way to the fucking movie, and it'll bring you up to speed. Like, okay, I remember. Let's go.
Fucking dope.
Man did a tutorial.
That's what I wanted to do initially, but then as I was writing it, I'm like, this just feels like a fucking commercial. It doesn't feel like me at all. It just feels like I'm just reading
Promoting.
off like a book or something. I don't know. It was really weird. And I was just like, fuck it, man. I'm just going to rap on this and have fun with it. And so, I mean, I wrote 2 versions of it. Both of those were relatively like came quickly, but the end game I did have to write twice. But Suicide Squad also I had help because Boss Logic assisted on the second verse. So Boss Logic, he's a graphic designer. He does amazing artwork for all the movie studios and
shout out Boss
like
Logic.
That. And we've been talking about doing a song or something ever since Endgame. And so I wanted to do some supervillain stuff, some DC. And so I was like, yo, here's the beat. I did a first verse, send me some ideas for a second verse, send me some lines. And so he sent me a bunch of stuff, and all that made it into the second verse, and I added a few things to it. But that made that very easy, you know, when you have a little bit of help, which, you know, I never have. So that was cool.
I got a question for you before we get to the next one. Marvel or DC?
I talk about this in my shows because I don't prefer one or the other, one over the other. And I honestly, like, the question in itself is like asking for divide. It's like all of it is so dope. Like, why, like, if you look at the grand scope of things, it's DC crushes it on animated shit and comics, honestly, in my opinion. And a lot of, not all comics, but like, if you're looking at like, you know, Dark Knight Returns, shit like that, amazing. But, you know, Marvel also has some like, you know, Frank Miller's Daredevil, like all that kind of shit. And anything Donnie Cates, right? Shout out Donnie Cates, that's the homie. He's a writer of Marvel. Marvel's got crazy, amazing stuff. Like, they're both right here. I mean, video games, like the Batman, the Arkham games are amazing, but also the Marvel Spider-Man games are amazing.
Yep.
The movies, yeah, DC hasn't been crushing as of late, but the Batman's about to drop, and it looks like that's going to change everything. Right. And like Peacemaker's still fire. And in my opinion, the Peacemaker show is better than any fucking Marvel show.
I agree with that as well.
Just my opinion. You know what I mean? But it's so like, it's all so dope. You know what I mean? I like
that's the best
so much.
That I've ever.
It's true though. Me and my 10-year-old literally had that conversation yesterday or the day before, trying to debate with each other which one was better. And we both looked at each other and said, let's just enjoy them both. They're both equally as sick.
You know, the fact that this is a mainstream popular question these days is like, that's what more do you need? Like, you know, It's fun to have the argument of like who's got better villains, which I think DC does have better villains, but like, it's fun to have the conversation about everybody likes this versus that. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna watch one over the other. And like, I don't like the Justice League movies, but that's just me. You know what I mean? But for some people, that's your flavor, and I don't want you to not, you know, love your flavor. Do your thing. You know.
I'm so happy that you answered the question that way, because in my mind, it's the same shit. It's fuck. Like, I love Iron Man. Iron Man is like dope to me, but my favorite superhero is fucking Superman. So it's just like, fuck it, why not? Dude, I can love both. I'm a big nigga. I can do whatever I want.
That's what it like. Why does it have to be teams? Why does it have to be one thing or the other? And why do you have to?
For sure.
Why do you have to shit on one to raise another? Like, that doesn't like.
It's not a political debate. Fucking just enjoy it.
Yeah, it's like everything can be dope.
Facts.
It's possible. Not everything has to suck, or you don't have to, you know.
All right, relax, bro. It was just a question.
You know what I'm saying? I get triggered.
So we're gonna pull up a question.
I get triggered by like negativity and people who hate on shit. I can't help it. Like,
it's so fucked up because that's like that's today's day and age, and it's just so messed up. It's so different from like when we grew up as kids. Wasn't so much negativity. Maybe it was, and we were just too young to fucking see it though.
I think it was. It just wasn't on Twitter in a concentrated area.
That's what I'm fucking saying, though. It was in a phone call because that's the only way you can fucking reach somebody is by dialing the phone.
Yeah.
Fucking Virginia's got a question here. She's asking, any idea when the new EP might drop?
I don't have an EP coming. Like initially, this year I'll have like 2 projects drop, at least 2. Like I'm releasing stuff heading towards an album, but I also have an entire this weird like grunge rock acoustic album that started as an EP but is now a full-length album that'll be dropping this year also. So I'm not going to be dropping anything as a full project anytime soon because that's just not how the market is. Unfortunately, we don't really drop albums. You know how it works. We'll drop singles.
Yep.
So you can start expecting singles for my whole new like that rock project probably starting in April. And it'll go, pretty consistently through the next couple months before the full album drops. But there'll be plenty of content. Like I never leave people hungry. I don't think. I think I've always got something for people to have, whether it's a brand new song or a video or a duet on TikTok or something like that. There'll always be something for you to distract yourself with and dive into.
Mercy's got a question here. How hard was it for you to do Dodgery?
Man, so Dodgery was a song based on the Netflix documentary Audrey and Daisy. I watched this documentary, me and my girlfriend watched it, and I was really taken back and moved by it and disturbed by it. And I was talking to her and I'm like, I wish like somebody would make, some more awareness for this. I wish everybody knew about this. I wish everybody knew what was happening and the type of shit that goes on. And I'm like, and in my scene, in my community, the hip hop community, it's a really kind of unheard of thing that happens. It was about, sexual abuse and these girls in high school and bullying and stuff like that. But not done in a corny way. I've seen the bullying thing done in such corny ways. And it's like, no wonder this isn't real. You know what I mean? Like, people are talking shit on Euphoria for like, this is an exaggeration. It's like, no, it's not. This shit is real, my dude. Like, the corny like shit doesn't connect with me. Like reality connects with me. So I was like, we should make this song, but let's just tell this story. Let me tell this story to my community in the way I feel like I can. So I got with my producer, I got with the band featured on it was Almost Normal, and made this song that was the reason. Like the weird thing is it wasn't that hard. And that's the weird thing about that song is how easily it came to me, which doesn't always happen. A lot of times I overthink shit. And I would think if I tried to write that song today, I would overthink the fuck out of it. I don't know why, whenever time and space, whatever was supposed to happen with that song, it came easily. The only thing that was hard about it is originally, I always knew we were going to do a music video from the first person perspective, to really put the viewer in the shoes of the person going through this. So initially I recorded the song in first person using eyes and me and shit like that. And I recorded it and I listened back and I'm like, this is just, I fucked up. Like, this is weird. This is, you know what I mean? Like, cause it's speaking from the perspective of a 15, 16-year-old girl. And I'm like, I can't be saying me, and this is weird. So I had to go, and it's a 6.5 minute song. So I had to recut the entire thing and switch it to she's and her and stuff like that. So
that's dope. That's crazy.
As far as writing it wasn't that difficult, but figuring that part out was a little tricky. Yeah.
Jeez, that song, I'm gonna tell you that I heard that song, bro, and I was just like, it was one of those things that it's like there was so much detail in the song that it was kind of hard to listen to and not cringe of the whole situation. But that's what makes a fucking song. The way I always say is, if a song can make you feel something, it was perfectly done.
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to make you uncomfortable. It'd be weird if it didn't. You know what I mean? Like the subject matter like that, it should make you uneasy. It should, because it's fucked up. And nobody does anything if they're not, nobody does anything when they're comfortable. You know, comfortability doesn't breed change. You know, the whole idea was to make people uncomfortable, but to do it in a way that wasn't vulgar or forced,
right.
or, you know what I mean? So yeah, but then people still find a way to talk shit in some way or another. You know,
that's just the way it fucking is.
But,
it's just the way it is.
But
man.
I mean, the great thing about that song is I became friends with Daisy after the release of that song.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and
that's fucking really crazy. Wow.
Yeah, like her whole family's. I mean, this is a huge downer, but you know, rest in peace to Daisy. She took her own life last year. You know, she battled with what had happened to her for years after that, and you know, just could never really escape it, which is an incredibly sad ending to that story. But you know, it just goes to show that how important this stuff is, and even after it happens, years after, it still, you know, can cause damage.
That's you're making me feel again, man. You need to relax.
I'm sorry.
So we're gonna make you feel a lot more. We're gonna make you feel a lot more. I think with that we should.
You're gonna play it.
I think for that we should segue into. There's so many songs that we could play from this man right here, can make you feel a million different fucking ways. 100%. So I think with that, we should just fucking segue right into playing that track. I think.
Dodgery?
Yeah, is that cool with you?
Yeah, it's a long one.
Well, we got a whole bunch of them pulled up here. We got your latest. We got Heater 2. We got Drowsy or Firefly. We could go right into Numb if you want, but we were just talking about that for so long
you can run whatever you guys want. I'm down for whatever.
All right.
Let's leave it for the fan. Who wants to see Dodgery? Put the song out there that you guys want to see right now. There's a lot of people in there. Tell you, my boy Ekoh was fire. I've been telling people.
Oh, we knew he was fire from a long time.
I've been trying to push your name as much as I can, brother. Your music is
dude. Honestly, asking all these people to choose their favorite song is going to be like sitting in front of a room of a bunch of people saying, "What toppings do you want on your pizza?" and all coming to a fucking agreement. There's no way everybody's going to be able to fucking choose the exact same song.
Well, that's the cool thing, because you'll have your people, like, this is what I love about this community. You have your like super people who just fuck with like the nerd rap shit, and then you got your super hip hop heads, then you got your like emo rap heads, and then you got, you know, there's like this huge Venn diagram that kind of like encompasses everything. So yeah, I love it.
Well, so we're playing Dodgery.
It's been Dodgery every
like everybody came together and ordered the same fucking pizza.
Love it. That's what we do.
Here we go. Let me just pull it up.
Ekoh, you know, I did a reaction and somebody left in my comment on your video, "Yo, who the fuck is this?" And I answered back, I was like, "It's in the title. Like, why are you asking me?" And
bro, if I had $1 for every time somebody was like, or I post a tour flyer and it's like the first date is like Denver, and someone's like, "Yo, bro, why aren't you coming to Denver?" I'm like, "Dog, what? What are you doing?"
Yeah, like fucking.
But I'm telling you, this guy fell in love with your music. Like, dude was like thrown the fuck left with it.
That's amazing, man. I appreciate what you guys do. It really means a lot to me, man. I won't lie, watching reactions for me is very difficult. It's not something that I'm comfortable doing a lot of the time. It's a very vulnerable thing for me to watch somebody react to my music. It's not that I don't like it. Like I respect what you do, but for me, it's a very vulnerable position watching somebody react to something I'm so close to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
sure.
And of course, like I'm a human, you know what I mean? So if it's like, I'm always just waiting for somebody to start saying some negative shit, and then I just gotta be like, God damn it, you know. So
Yep. Facts.
I appreciate how vulnerable you are in your reactions to them. You know what I mean? It always is something that I enjoy. You know, just diving into, and your commentary is always, it feels very genuine. A lot of stuff sometimes to me feels very contrived, and I dig when something feels genuine and real to me.
But I mean, that's what we try to do as much as possible on our channel. Because like in my channel, in every video I say it, the negativity can stay the fuck over there. I don't want to deal with no negative shit. You have a negative comment to say, then you go ahead and say it to yourself. I'm good on that. I don't want to hear none of it. I'm like, we good. If you don't like my channel, you don't have to subscribe. You don't have to keep on watching this shit. There's so much shit out on YouTube. You ain't got to watch me. So it is. Yeah. So like, I get on this camera, and my first 3 videos, they felt forced because I was trying to portray something that I wasn't. And then my wife was the one that told me, just be who you are, and it is what it is. Either they're gonna like it or they're gonna fucking hate it. She's like, there's 2 options you got.
Yeah.
And I've been fortunate enough that I've been getting a lot of people watching me and showing me love and everything. And it's all about positivity over here. I ain't trying to be somebody that I'm not. I'm a broke nigga.
It's all about
that lives in Florida. That's who the fuck I
am. Shakey Vibe.
Being real, man.
Podcast. Let's get into this. We got Ekoh featuring Almost Normal Dodgery.
Do we run commentary during this or what?
Yeah, we can do whatever we want, brother.
100%. I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit so that people can get the best of both. They can get the music and they can get us as well. Then anytime like we start talking, I'll just hit the pause button. It's all good.
Dope. I'm just moving over to this computer.
I feel like I'm losing all control.
Shakey Vibe Podcast, what's poppin', everybody? We here, we live with your homie Ekoh. Let's go throw some flames in the fucking chat, y'all.
Tell me, can you hear me?
It was a typical night, not much to do. Her and her friend just hanging out.
Okay, here's a fun commentary.
The cool girls in school.
So if anybody you the rapper Big B was on Suburban Noise with Cottonmouth King's on. This is Big B's daughter's bedroom.
Oh, for real, eh?
Wow.
That's because Big B was a homie, and his daughters were fans, or still are, but we needed a room, and I was like, I would always go on I mean, I still do. I always go on Facebook because that's where like all my local people are at whenever I need shit for videos. And so I was I was like, I need a bedroom of some sort, something that looks very
teenager,
you know. Exactly. And she sent a picture. I was like, oh, this is perfect. Which it is. That's like some production value you can't buy, you know.
Oh, facts. Very cool.
Someone texted him, they didn't know what to do. Said that they were just chilling and watching Netflix. He said that we got some liquor, come and kick it. And he was older, they didn't think for a second he would ever want to hang with them, especially some freshmen. But who knows, maybe he'll think they were cool. And when we go back to school, they will look at us differently, right? She said she was down. They said cool, and they picked him up around the corner. A little
dude, that bedroom could not fucking have been any more like perfect.
Oh yeah.
Tipsy already because they had been drinking some vodka that they found in the liquor cabinet earlier. They had never really drank, so needless to say, the thought of drinking too much had never occurred to them. Snuck out the house and got in the car. They said the house isn't too far away, so they parked and then they walked a little bit before they snuck into the window of one of the kids' basements. The coolest kids on the football team, and it was 5 of them all laughing. It seemed like everything was all good enough. Poured the liquor, said he got a drink out of the bitch cup now. She was game, didn't want to seem like she couldn't hang, so she drank it all down and then she swigged the bottle. By the time she looked around and couldn't find a friend and thought that something wasn't right and started feeling awful. It's where it all gets hazy. She remembers being picked up and carried to a room. It all started going fuzzy, fading in and out. She came to, he's on top of her with his friends around. Don't stop, what are you doing? Quit playing. She couldn't really move it. She was so drunk, but she kept saying it. She kept saying it. He put his hand into her pants. She didn't know what he was doing. She said it again, tried to push it away, and she said no, but her eyes would barely open up, and she just couldn't move around. Felt him take off her shirt and couldn't tell, but it looked like his friend had started filming too. Heard the sound of his voice, breath on her neck, felt his hand push her down, and that's it. It went black. Tape cut right there. She don't remember anything after that.
Shit.
Yeah, that was a rough thing to film for everybody involved. You know, shout out to the guy who plays the guy. His name is Jeff. Great actor, but I know it was a tough.
It must be tough doing that type of scene. Oh my god. I could
just imagine. Fuck.
It's tough, and the girl. So the way you achieve this look, we created. It's a helmet with a camera attached to it. So it's like a motorcycle helmet that has a camera attached to it. It's really difficult to kind of maneuver around, but we had to find a girl who was the right height. You know what I mean? And had the right looking hands. You know what I mean? It was just very.
Shot selection,
particular.
scene selection, camera angle, like everything just played out so perfectly.
If you're gonna do a video, especially with a message like this, you have to do it right.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was like there was like no expense that we didn't that we cut corners on, especially with something like this. Exactly, you can't really. Yeah, you
no, like your production's got to be fucking top tier if you're gonna make a track like this emotional. It's like. If the track's gonna hit this hard lyrically, the video's got to impact and hit just as harder to convey the message you're trying to convey in your lyrics and kind of bring that shit to life.
Yeah, exactly.
She woke up to the sound of her mom shaking her. Her front yard, 5 a.m. in the middle of winter. Said the temperature was 21 degrees and her hair had almost been completely frozen to the concrete. Still hazy when she walked back inside. She remembers that she kept on asking if she's alright then. Took her clothes off to put her in the bath. Saw some marks on her body and asked if she'd been attacked. But she couldn't really even put words together and the whole room was spinning. She just started crying. The next thing she remembers the doctor asking her questions, and even now it's really hard to recollect it. They said rape, and now the cops are showing up, asking where she was last night and what happened, but still in shock. Her brother had found her phone with all the people she had texted last night in the snow. They took him into custody. It made the news. A small town football player had been accused of sexual assault. She didn't know what it was called and really felt like it was her fault.
I think those are actual news.
She was outcast. The whole student body they had heard.
Oh, those are the actual like clippings on the web from that shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Fuck.
And she just wanted to pretend it didn't happen, but the word of this video it got around. They called her slut, said she was a lying bitch, and why the fuck would she accuse someone like him to get attention? And even if she wasn't lying, she probably wanted it, and if she didn't, she should have drank and learned her lessons. This all feels like a real bad dream, man. Everybody keeps staring, it seems like she can still feel the spots where he touched her. Her life is over, how can anybody love her now? And even adults think she's making this up, and all the friends she did have are too afraid to speak up. Pray to God that this will just go away, and she keeps counting the days until this court case is over. Just a little validation, said she ruined his life. It's amazing. Let these thoughts just run all day and go to sleep now. The only way to escape it.
Charges were dropped against 2 teens accused of sexual assault. The county prosecutor says he did not believe he could prove the allegations against the 2 teens beyond a reasonable doubt.
She woke up to the sound of her mom screaming first. Said they let them all walk, thought she was dreaming first. They were kids and had their whole life ahead of them, and not to let some little mistake and a girl threaten it. Plus the dad was a senator with connections. Just boys being boys, they had all learned their lessons. Couldn't believe it, she just wanted justice. And more than that, she just wanted him to admit it. But she was disregarded, and then the backlash. They had her name attached to slut, made into hashtags. Up on Twitter, the notifications blew up, saying she should kill herself, that she deserved it. And nothing from that night and all the court dates since could have prepared for the hurt those words did. Sick of crying and being under a microscope and having her womanhood be the topic of the conversation. Half the town thinks he's innocent. Happy to get him back on the field so they can win again. Turn the computer off and shut the phone like what the fuck happened to my life, cause I don't know, but future ruin, the reputation is nothing. And she keeps taking all of these pills but it don't numb it. She said fuck it for the last time. Maybe these people on Facebook are right. Grabbed the belt she found in the top drawer, then she took it to her bathroom to tie it up. Could barely see through the tears, but she kept hearing people call her liar as she stepped on the lip of the tub. You don't know how dark this life gets. Sick of living her whole life in regret. So she took a deep breath, closed her eyes, and then she snapped.
Why do I feel like I'm losing all control? Time's are fading, can't speak. Where did you go?
I haven't watched that one
Approximately
to the end in a minute.
1.n adolescents in the United States have been victims of sexual assault. Rape is the most underreported crime. 63% of sexual assaults are not reported to police. That's crazy.
Screaming, can you hear me?
In 8 out of 10 cases of rape, the victim knew the person who sexually assaulted them. That's fucked up.
Now, tell me, can you hear me?
I can't even imagine how hard it was to write this, man.
That's
I
crazy.
mean, with something like this, it wasn't hard to. The hardest part was like I felt like I'm always been a person like if I can't do it right, I'm not going to do it. So when I started this, I was like, let's try it. I'm going to try it, and if I can do it justice, then I'll put it out. But if I can't, then I'm not going to touch this because I feel like it's too,
Right.
important. So with something like that, like it's not necessarily hard emotionally because when I was writing, I was being very fact. I studied, I got all the facts, and I was trying to line up the story how I can. In that case, I'm trying to just tell it in the right way, and so it's not as much. My emotion was all done by the time I'd watched, the documentary.
Right,
You know what I
okay.
mean? So a lot of that was just trying to make sure I did it right.
From an artist's perspective, like writing a track is one thing. Writing a track is so much easier than writing a song. And this is a fucking song. This is deep, bar for bar, telling a fucking story, painting a picture. How long did this take to write as far as like the writing process goes? Because like I can sit down and write a track in, depending on the beat, the energy, the mood, 15, 20, an hour. But then like writing a song, a deep song, sometimes flows very quickly and sometimes is a long drawn out process. For this particular track, how long did this song take for you to write?
Well, I think writing is interesting. I feel like if you have something to say, writing can come very quickly. If you have a story and it's something what you want to say, it can come quickly. My writing process has also changed over the years, and I used to only write. I used to not get up until I finished the song. Now I leave and come back and revise, and so this I don't know. It probably took like a week off and on coming back to it and revising and trying to figure out, also, we're producing at the same time. So it's like, what is the track going to do? Where do we stop it? Do we stop it here and pick it back up? Or is it too long? It's like 6 fucking minutes. You know what I mean? Like trying to figure out. So probably like a week off and on with everything. But I mean, a lot of times songs are easier to write to me lately than tracks. Like, I feel like I've just rapped about rapping for so long that I'm like, what the fuck do I say now? Like, I feel like I'm saying the same shit, but if I have something to say, it's like I can only write if I have something to say lately,
See, and that's what your music kind of caught me, because you can rap. That's a fact. You could definitely rap. Me personally, I like your touching music better. It makes me feel, because the last song you did, I've been through the same thing that you have for a long time now. And
which one are you talking about? Numb? Numb?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've dealt with it. I felt where you would come from. I resonated with that track so much. And that's why, I mess with all your music. It don't matter what it is. I'd rather go to your touchy feeling ones, because it brings me back. It brings me back to what I used to be and how I used to think, to how now I am a completely different fucking person. And that transition is just dope. It's all fucking dope.
I think sometimes it's nice to have something you can kind of like hold on and grab onto, or I think, there's like different flavors for different things. But the thing is that there's so many good rappers out there in the world. Like, there's so many that it's like, if anything what's going to set you apart? Like, the only thing that's going to set you apart sometimes is your story. You're the only one with your story. So are you going to talk about it? Because if not, there's 100 fucking people rapping about being the dopest rapper.
Right.
More than that.
You know? Yeah. And
Everybody and their fucking brother.
Exactly. And there's a lot that are way better than me at it. And I'm aware of that. And I'm like, cool, but you can't tell my story. I have that. You know what I mean? And so that's, can you tell your own story? Like, even if you're telling it through shit that you like, even when I'm talking about comic book, like that's my story because that's the shit that I'm into, you know?
Right.
So that's, and the longer I do this, the more I have to, the less I'm able to do the other shit. The less, you know, the less inspired I am to just make
right
songs about making songs or being the best or whatever. Every once in a while I like to flex. That shit's fun. I catch a vibe, you know what I mean? It's dope. But a lot of the stuff that I'm drawn to lately is really just, do I have something to say? You know what I mean? And if I do, I have to say that thing, and I have to not be afraid to say it.
And that's the one thing that a lot of artists, period, they have difficulty trying to portray their message or their story, like you said. And that's why, you know, a lot of people can't mess with it. I mean, you're doing everything that everyone else did. You're just doing it in your voice. So it's a different sound, but it's the same thing. With your music, it's completely like you wear, like what Shakespeare said earlier, you wear your heart on your sleeve. If you let it all out there and people resonate with it, they do. And if they don't, they don't. I mean, it is what it is.
Well, it's hard to understand when you have such, your story, your life, whatever you go through is so individual to you that it's hard to imagine that somebody else could relate with it. You know what I mean? And not only that, but a lot of us take our own trauma and try and pretend that it's not that big of a deal, like it doesn't affect me that much. You know what I mean? So, you know, when the more it's, a lot of my writing, I've been trying to be more specific, even more specific. Because I started noticing a lot of times I write too broad. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I need to be even more specific, like what's actually happening in my life. And can I talk about it? Am I willing to talk about it? Am I willing to be that open? And it's weird. The more specific you get and the less you think people will get it, the more you let people in and the more people connect, which is weird. It's like a backwards type thing. Like you wouldn't expect that, but that's kind of the way it at least I've seen it work, you know. But it's even with like the hype rap shit, with the hype rap stuff, like I feel like that's in the same vein. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's just a different side of yourself. But if you're leaning into it and being genuine, because like I could write a fucking mainstream rap song easy, you know, but it's just not me.
You know? I'm telling you, if I ever hear a song of Ekoh talking about he used to be in the block and he had a Cadillac on 24s, if I start hearing that shit, I'm gonna stop listening to your music. Yeah, I mean, that's just what it is.
That'd be funny.
Because I know the man just lost his mind right
now. Or the dude's out there trying to catch a bag real quick.
Right. But I know if you do some type of song like that track, it'll probably be something like trying to mock it in a way. That's
I like to take mainstream cadence. I like to take like Beskar Lambo to me is a mainstream rap song with like the hardest nerd sounding shit over it. Like to me that hook is 100% a mainstream rap song hook. It is a repetitive Beskar Lambo, like that is a repetitive mainstream rap hook all day. But I was like, let me take that and let me like do my thing on it.
Exactly.
You know, because I don't like, when I first started, I would hate on mainstream shit. I would hate on mumble rap shit. I would hate on auto-tune shit. The older I've gotten, the more I've listened to, like, you can find good in everything. And if I'm not willing to find good in what's new and what's popular, like I'm gonna be a fucking old dinosaur. and you're gonna die out with your shit. And it just gets so fucking, to me, it gets so old, like hating on mainstream shit. Like, what else do you have to say? And to me, it shows more skill if I can listen to mainstream shit, find what I like, and incorporate it in my own music in my own way. Like that to me, like that shows talent. Like just hating on it is like, all right, you didn't did that was that hard? No. It's like that's the easy way out, you know?
But to be able to do both, like people don't realize how hard it is to be able to do both and to be able to kind of flick that coin and be able to appeal, still spitting substance, but appeal to the mainstream, but also keep it underground at the same time, to write something upbeat, double time flow switch, then to write something like we just fucking listened to. The writing patterns and the things that you're able to do with the pen and pad, most people can't do. Like that's why if you listen to certain artists, they're one trick ponies because they don't have a bag that they can go into and be like, I'm going to turn off that switch and I'm going to do a more laid back song as opposed to a track. And so it's like your writing process and thought process and what you're able to produce is so different from so many other artists that I think that that's what keeps your fans so engaging and just so like just wanting more and craving more.
I do think you're right. I think also to piggyback on that, I think a lot of artists, I don't know the best way to put it. Like I like a lot of shit. Like I like a lot of different kinds of music. Like I listen to a lot of different things and a lot of different sounds inspire me. And I want to try new stuff. Like I want to have a new tool to add to this mix. Or it's like I want to do a 50s doo-wop song. I love 50s doo-wop. That is my shit. I would love to make a 50s doo-wop song. So I go do it. And I'm like, can I do it? One of those things, like if I can do it justice, I'm going to do it. And I'll try because I like it and I'm having fun. If I want to make an acoustic song, like I'm not all right. I'm like, I grew up listening to this shit. Can I do this? I don't think I can. I don't know if I can sing. I'll do it. And I'm like, yo, I just added a new tool because I'm trying, because I'm trying to have fun with it. And I'm open to change and I'm open to new things. I don't want to make the same fucking songs over and over and over. That gets boring. I would hope the fans would get bored of that shit. You know, that's why if I ever see comments, there's like, you know, certain comments, someone be like, man, I like you, but all your songs sound the same. I'm like, dude, you're out of your
fucking retard.
You gotta be
you're a fucking
moron.
retard.
I don't know, like, what are you talking about? Like, there's a lot like if you don't.
That
like
was
it,
the same guy
whatever.
that was the same dude that commented on Ray's reaction.
Dude.
I was like, if you don't like it, if it's not your shit, like that's whatever. But like the one thing like will trigger and like not okay is like I have too much of a broad spectrum of sounds and shit like that to be accused of having something sound the same.
Right.
Do you freestyle?
No.
Okay. Do you try to freestyle, but you just don't freestyle? We're not gonna ask you to. Like,
no, I mean a lot lately. When I record is like in the booth, and so I'll hop in the booth, turn the beat on, and like just mumble some melodies and some lines or some shit like that. But not freestyle has never been my thing. I've never been good at it, and I've just never been a big fan of it. I think maybe I was just too like self-conscious and too like embarrassed to like fuck up in front of people. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm on tour and like everybody's freestyling and like annoyed and webbing, I'm like, I ain't hopping in there. Fuck that shit. These dudes are giants. They're good at this shit. I'm gonna go over here and write my sad boy shit and like I'll be back in a while. Yeah.
So Nico asked the question. The Jedi Warrior asked the question. He's like, how did the track with you and Ritz come about?
The track with me and Ritz. Oh, that's an interesting one, actually. I was working with Ritz's manager for a while. He was like, we were talking back and forth. Really dope dude. Shout out to Freddie Sender. That's my fucking guy. And we were just kind of, he had found me and was helping me with some stuff, just saw something in me, and he was awesome. And obviously he worked with Ritz and a tour, like I ended up getting booked on the tour with Ritz and Dizzy Wright. And so that was in talks kind of months before it got announced. And I was like, well, I have this song that I had an idea for that I wanted him to get on. And I actually sent him If you guys have heard the Detour, it's on Detour 3. 1 More Minute. The song 1 More Minute is what I originally sent Ritz because I had the second verse open. He rapped his verse on 1 More Minute. Dope ass verse. My producer lost the entire beat. It's the only time it's ever happened. He lost the entire file for the beat, and so the beat was like no longer there.
Oh shit!
And it was one of those things where like, well, are we gonna have to remake this entire fucking beat? And can you do it in the same way? It was just like I was like, listen, Brian, just take his verse and make something new. Like build a song around his verse. And he made the beat for Locked In, which is like one of the dopest, craziest beats I've ever rapped on, and I have in my catalog, and made that shit. And I was like, holy fuck, this is crazy. And so I did that, did a new verse. That verse was a bitch to write. It took forever. And then when we did the video, I was like, oh shit, I totally forgot to tell Ritz that I switched the song. But I know Ritz is like me, like I'll do features and like just forget about it 100 like completely. And I was like, yo, check this out. Like we redid it and he liked it way more.
That's lit. That's dope.
Than the old one. So I was like, fucking thank God. And then we ended up remaking the beat for 1 More Minute anyways, and I just did a second verse on it. So got 2 songs out of 1, which is the best.
That's crazy
scenario. But actually Ritz and I have another song coming real soon. So
anybody out there that you're interested to work with
that you haven't already, because you've worked with so many people.
I mean, like yes and no. Like I'm always interested to work with like people I'm a big fan of, like, you know, Tech9 and fucking Logic and like all these like bigger artists. But at the end of the day, like, I don't know, fuck it. Like I don't care that much. You know what I mean? Like it would be really dope and I would like to, but at the end of the day, I'm like, I service the song. The song is always the most important thing to me.
Facts.
And so if I have like If the Noose Fits, right? That's a Webby beat to me. And so I'm like, when Webby wants to do a song, I'm like, I have a beat. This is for you. And I sent it to him and he's like, yo, this is it. You know what I mean? So it's always like, if I have a song that warrants a certain vibe that would match and make sense, I absolutely want to and love to. But I don't ever force collabs or
and timing's got to be right too. The timing has to be right.
Yeah, timing's got to be right. The vibe has to be right. Like I only really like working with people that I like personally and that I fuck with. I'm fortunate in that way that everybody I've, you know, collabed with up to this point are people that I'm genuinely fans of, not only music wise, but on a personal level, you know. And, you know, you want to be working with the right people is to where, like, if I send, like when I did the song with Apathy, I've been an Apathy fan since I was fucking 12 years old. And Apathy bodies me on that song. Like, bodies me. And that makes me incredibly happy. You know what I mean? Because I'm an Apathy fan. And when I send you a song, I'm expecting you to fucking go off on it. And or like Locksmith, dude. Locksmith to me is one of the best MCs rapping right now. So when I send him a song, he sends back some, I'm like, fucking bodied it. Webby. Like, I send it to people that I know are about their shit and are like true lovers of music and serious about it. And when they send something back, it's fire, you know, because the song is the most important thing. If I get something back and I don't like it, I won't use it. I don't care how big you are or what it is. Like, if it doesn't make the song better, it's not worth it to me.
Facts.
Yeah, because you're a professional of your craft. You're not going to put out garbage. You're not going to put out something. If you don't feel comfortable with something, I wouldn't expect any artist to put out something they're not comfortable with.
But that just goes to show that he's real, keeping it 100, back to the beginning of the conversation, and it's all about the music. Friends are friends. The business is business. It's got to make business sense, but the music's got to sound banging, and it's got to be up to a certain standard. And I mean,
that is a piece of it, but also, like, if I put something out on the internet, if somebody talks shit about it, like, it doesn't, like, it bounces off of me because I know anything I put out, I 100% stand by. To me, it's perfect. And it's at a point, like, where I put it out where I'm like, if you don't like it, you have bad taste or it just doesn't match. It's not made for you. But if I put out something I'm not 100% confident on,
Have you? Have you?
and somebody
Have you put
no,
on something you're not 100% confident in?
I think I put out somewhere it's like, I know I should have like maybe got one more mix back on that, or our mix wasn't perfect. And if somebody mentions that, I'm like, I can't argue it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like,
Got
you're
you,
right.
got you.
You're right. So if I put out something that's like not 100% and someone like throws a jab at it, like it's gonna hurt. And like I try to minimize that as much as possible.
Right.
And I got to ask, your first time that you got that call to go on a big tour, what was your reaction and how did that come about?
Well, I didn't really. It's an interesting thing. So this will. I tell the story a lot. I don't know if I should, but I always do. This just shows what a real motherfucker Chris Webby is. So when Webby was my first big tour that I was on. Like I'd been on another, like I've toured with like Mickey Avalon and Dirt Nasty, like helping them sell merch and touring with them for a few times. And what happened with the Webby one, I was buying onto the tours. You guys know how like shit works. Like when you're a much smaller artist and you don't have draw, you can buy onto a tour. So it's like if I spend X amount, I'll get on these shows. I'll buy, I pay for my own way. I drive myself. I'll be able to sell merch, whatever. So this was a 3-leg Webby tour, and it was like each leg cost a certain amount. It's like, all right, it wasn't cheap. I wasn't sure if I was going to do it because I didn't really have the money, but I knew it would possibly be good exposure. You know what I mean? And I know how good I am on stage, and I knew I would sell merch. So I was like on the fence, but I was like, okay, if I can pay each one as I go, like pay the first one and then do that. And then before the second one, I'll pay the second one, fourth one. I'll do that, whatever.
Was this before your connection with Webby started? Or is this like
I didn't know. I didn't know Webby.
Okay.
I just bought onto the tour.
Dope.
Right?
Okay.
So I didn't meet Webby till the first date of the tour. I'd never even spoken to him.
Okay. Lit.
So I'm just a buy-on. I'm driving myself, taking my own merch, showing up to shows, whatever. So I paid for the first leg. I do the first leg. I mean, this is how I am, though. I mean, like, I stay out of everybody's fucking way. You don't hear a peep out of me until I, like, rock shit. I play my set. If I get sound check, cool. If I don't, fuck it, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I grind. I pay my dues. I do what the fuck. I know my place.
You're the opener. You fucking bought onto it.
Yeah.
Just be
I don't
humble,
go over my
shit.
set time. I do, like, I help you load in. I help you load out. I fucking, whatever you need, I got you. You need me to carry extra shit, whatever.
You want me to be a roadie? I'll fucking, whatever you need, I got you. Lit.
Exactly. And then I rock shit. I fucking crushed it. So at the end of that tour, and like throughout that tour, you know what I mean? You like get to know everybody there and all that kind of shit. And before the second leg, Webby had called me. Like at the end of that, he's like, yo, send me a song. I want to do a song with you. Like we kind of like bonded and shit. And before the second,
after the first show, before the second one, you mean?
After the first leg.
Okay, got you.
Of the tour, which was like 15 to 20 dates, whatever it was.
Bruh.
And then there's like 2 weeks. There was 2 weeks off, and then we go back on the second leg. And in the 2 weeks, Webby calls me. He's like, yo, I'm not going to charge you for the second leg. You know what I mean? Like, I fuck with you. Like, you're dope. Like, let's just run it. And, like, that's some real shit because I budgeted my own tour with the buy-on, and you budget it based on that money you get from a buy-on. You know what I mean? It's just
that's got to be, like, the biggest euphoric fucking, like, moment of your career to that date. Like, just like,
yeah,
fucking,
it just felt like
a huge win for you there.
It felt like because that up to that point in my career, no artist at least had really like thrown me a bone or like showed me real love or like real support like that. You know what I'm saying? And for someone as big as him, who's had success and has done what he did to fucking do that, I was like, yo,
so cool.
You're a fucking real one. And then fast forward between the second and the third leg, it was like, yo, you're not buying on, and we're gonna pay for your hotel. Oof. Also, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is that, and like knowing Webby, like that's a Webby move. Webby's a good fucking dude. He treats his team correct. He does things right. You know what I mean? I look up to that dude in the way he does his business in a big way, and he's just, yeah. When that shit happened, I was just like, that shit will get me emotional because
Right.
you know I come from a place I've done this all on my own. No one ever really gave a fuck about me or what I was doing, and that was the first person to really like kind of big brother me. You know what I'm saying? So that was like
That's fucking
super
crazy.
dope. So up till and then it's like, yo, you ever need anything? You want me to go on tour? Like I'm fucking going. I'm there. You need anything? I'm there all day.
And it's pretty cool because a lot of times headliners don't fuck with the opening acts like at all.
Yeah.
Like at
And
all.
that's
at
not
all.
even in a shitty way. There's just a lot going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mhm.
And it really is a world where it's like you got to prove yourself first.
Right.
Because there's so many fuck boys. You know what I mean? It's like
So
prove
many.
yourself, and then I'll give you the time of day. Because if you give everybody the time of day, you can't. You know what I mean? It really is like a prove yourself, and then let's talk type
Right.
shit.
That's dope. Well,
And
congrats to
Chris
that. And the
Webby's
red.
fire, too. Chris Webby, that man is insane.
Yeah, man. Fucking.
And the rest is fucking history because like that was your first main buying onto the fucking tour. And before you even finished the second leg of the tour, started the second leg. Okay, now you're on the second leg, and then fucking you're like part of the show on the fucking third leg. So it's and then all the collabs and everything else from there. So that's fucking
Yeah, and then
that's
I built
dope.
up my own touring history, and then by the end of that year, because of those tours, I was paid to go on the Ritz and Dizzy Wright tour. You know what I'm saying? So it's like started off the year buying on, being like, should I fucking do this? End of the year getting paid, you know, to go on this other tour. So yeah, it's
Man, that's so dope.
it's wild.
Nico's posting a question here. He's like, who are the top 5 artists in hip hop that influence you the most? And who are the top 5 artists outside of hip hop that influence you the most? It's a
Top
good
5
question,
artists.
Nico.
Like growing up, my top 5, which I would say has like influenced my sound, especially in the beginning, was Tupac's my number 1. Atmosphere, Tech 9 had to have been up there. Eminem is up there, and I was like, maybe like Apathy, maybe Vinnie Paz, maybe like the 5th is like interchangeable, but the top 4,
Fuck.
that's like my top 4 personal. There's someone probably not there. Lupe Fiasco I was a big fan of. I mean, J. Cole I fucking love.
There's so many.
There's so many. Like here's another thing about me. I hate top 5 lists. I hate lists in general. I'm not a fan of them. And I hate when people do them. And I hate when people like put me on the end or like try and judge me based on their list. I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like, who am I? Who gives a fuck about my list? Who gives a fuck what my top 5 is? You know what I mean? I mean, I get why people are interested in it, but but the tier system is like a weird thing. I can tell you like 5 artists too, but like top 5, that's really tough for me to do. But outside of hip hop, like Davey Havoc, AFI is like my favorite shit. Misfits, Sam Cooke will always probably be number 1 for me. Sinatra. Like that's the shit I listen to a lot of oldies. I don't really listen to new shit that much. You know?
Same.
That's dope though, because not a lot of people will, the way you just said fuck a list, it was just hilarious to me. Like fuck that list.
But you know what?
I saw somebody. I don't remember who it was, but I saw some YouTuber doing a list of rappers, and then he was like, I haven't really listened to much of Ekoh, so I'll put him in there. I'm like, then why the fuck am I on your list, dog? You know what I mean? Like, what? Take me off your list. If you haven't listened to me, why the fuck am I on your list? Also, who are you? And fuck your list.
Like, I think like everybody that we ask that question to, because it gets posed pretty much every interview that we do, it gets sort of answered roughly the same. The answers might change, but everybody's like, who cares? Not who your favorite. Influences are different than who's your favorite. Like people that influence you in life, music, like again, like Sam Cooke. Like you might not necessarily have Sam Cooke come out in your music, but that's something completely different and irrelevant, like to hip hop music and stuff like that. And from like an era where music was so happy, joyful, and positive for the most part, compared to like the dark era that we're in now with like media, music, movies, and all that other shit. So
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, I just think the amount of ego that goes into a list of being like, these are the top 10. It's like, dog, you really think you're that important to where like you have that can judge a top list of artists? You know what I'm saying? It's funny to me.
Kahuna just posed a pretty good question. He's like, do you get the Eminem comparison all the time?
I get a comparison based on whatever hair color I have will determine which white rapper I get compared to. So
Got you.
if my hair is blonde, it'll be an Eminem or an MGK comparison. Regardless, I'll put out the same song, and I'll do a video when I have black hair, and then a video when I have blonde hair. And the same song when I have black hair, they'll call me NF or Token, and when I have blonde hair, they'll call me Eminem or MGK. And I'm at a point where I'm like, oh, you like.
When it's red, what's your comparison then?
Fuck, I don't even. We'll see. Sure, they'll find one.
But this is the way I see it. If you're dope, you're dope. If you can rap, if you can do your art to the best of your ability and it resonates with people, it shouldn't fucking matter. I don't like doing that comparison shit. If I'm listening to your music or if I'm reacting to your music, I try my best not to say, yo, he Eminem this or I don't try to compare you because I'm listening to your music. I listen to them. Mm-hmm. Fuck that. I'm not even worried about that right now. I'm listening to Ekoh, so this is who I'm going to be focusing on. And when I see a lot of people, I see a lot of other reactors react to your music, and out of 10 of them, probably 7 always comes up with a Eminem reference or something like that. And I'm just like, dude, like, what?
It was probably when I had the blonde hair, too. You know,
it was what?
It's probably when I had the blonde hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird, like, I don't know why the comparison thing is, and tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know if I'm like out of pocket here, but it feels like it happens more so with white rappers being compared to other white rappers. You don't see that happening.
Of course it is.
Outside 100%. Of that, right? Am I,
no,
like I said, I could be wrong.
It's the same kind of comparison as a basketball player coming up. They're always going to be compared to the next Michael Jordan. It's just how many white rappers are out there in an industry that's primarily a black industry, and Eminem is the best white rapper, blah, blah, blah. So who else are you going to compare them to? And I think that's what it is. I think everybody compares the white dude to fucking Eminem because Eminem is the GOAT of like the white boys in hip hop. When there's now there's so many dope fucking white spitters. But when Eminem came up, it was like they're like Vanilla Ice. Like you can name on one hand, like there's Third Base, Beastie Boys, and shit like that, of course. But I think that's why there's that. Like there's for every white rapper, there's a million black rappers. So like, who are you going to compare them to? There's so many you can compare them to, where it's just easier to just throw the name Eminem out there because fucking. Like M takes.
Yeah, if someone's like, "Oh, this is Eminem," I'm like, "Oh, you don't listen to hip hop, okay?" You know what I mean?
I love the blunt.
Okay.
I love the bluntness. It's just, but it's true,
well,
man.
If the only pull you have is like Eminem, like you obviously don't know the fuck you're talking about.
Facts.
Oh, like I don't think Ekoh like that question. You look very.
No, I'm fine with it. Trust me, I've gotten really good at like. I don't care what people say. It doesn't like affect me. You know. There's a point now where I just fuck with people. Like if I get hate on comments, like the best thing to tell people, like if they get mad at you, is like, "Yo, I didn't mean to trigger you, bro." You know what I mean? Because it's usually just those type of people that are hating on shit.
Just fucking troll them.
Yeah.
Big Kahuna posted a pretty dope question. How stoked were you when Crazy Town hit you up? And how were the feels when performing with them?
That was crazy. So I made that remix on TikTok and fucking Shifty called me. Shifty called me on the phone, and I was like, oh fuck, like I thought he was gonna be pissed. You know what I mean? Because I didn't get the rights to anything.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just kind of, you know, I also didn't sample anything. We remade it from scratch. We remade it very well, but
Wow.
still remade it from scratch, like so nothing sampled. But he called me. I was like, oh fuck, he's just gonna be pissed. But he was like super dope and just stoked. He's like, yo, I thought it was awesome. I was like, yo, we should do a song together. I was like, cool. And that was kind of it. And in my head, I was like, I want to do a song, but I really want to do Butterfly.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we just kind of let it go from there. And then like the song was out, it kind of circulated a little bit. And I kind of thought like that was just a hopeful thing that I was like, well, maybe that would happen, and then didn't. And then one day, out of the blue, he hit me up. He's like, yo, I want to put a verse on that and put it out. I'm like, yo, let's fucking go.
That was, oh, God.
So that's fucking
I sent
lit.
Yeah, I sent him the beat. And I mean, it was, the crazy thing was filming the music video because he's right next to me. And like, I do the hook first. You know what I mean? And so I'm like doing he's like,
And he's beside you, and he's fucking in your
like,
music video.
Like this
So
is your thing, and I'm like going.
The stand
all in
came
on
out of
it,
you.
Doing
The little stand came out of you.
Not even the stand came out. Not even like that. It was just like, this feels weird because this is your song, and I'm about to do this video where I'm like full Ekoh mode, doing this like it's mine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm rapping this like I own it. But like you're next to me, it's like this is your song, and like a song that's like one of the biggest songs ever made. It was just a very surreal thing. Like I looked at my girl at one point, I was like, yo, it's fucking crazy right now. You know what I mean? And then he's doing it, and it was just, yeah. But shout out to Shifty, man, because he's a really fucking cool dude. And then they played in LA, and I came out and we did it on stage, and that was insane.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
And that video was
you got we did the video in my last live stream, and everybody went fucking crazy in my live stream. Everybody was just like,
dope,
holy
man.
shit, they went fucking nuts.
I'm glad, you know, I could do it justice. It's one of those things where it's like you don't want to fuck up a classic, and it was one of those things where it was like, I'm gonna try it, see if I can do it. And I was like, this is dope. So, you know.
That was a monster hit back in the day. So to like fucking remix with the artist that you liked growing up in the song, I'm sure, like, because everybody played that song back in the day. Like, that's fucking dope, man. Because you've collabed with so many people that are just fucking huge artists in their own right now. But to be able to do the same thing with somebody from the past to bring it back is equally as fucking dope and equally as fucking cool from an artist standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, for him to trust me with, you know, continuing the legacy, so to speak, of that song.
And he hit you up on that shit.
Yeah. And I didn't notice until I dropped it too, but Webby had a Butterfly remix that he dropped like a decade ago. And I was like, oh fuck, I didn't even know. But then when I saw Webby, he's like, you motherfucker, you got Crazy Town on it. He's like, because me and Webby have this thing. Me and Webby have like an ongoing for a while before the pandemic. It was like, who could get the better cameo in a music video? Because I got Corey Feldman. And he was like, I'm gonna out cameo you. I was like, do your best, dude, and I'll see what I can
do. I got Corey. Do your best, motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's funny. Andrea Sinclair's asking the question here. It's great question. Are there any of your songs that you can't listen to because it's too hard to?
I mean, only if they're really old and I don't like my voice. I don't like the way I did it. Like, there's nothing like subject matter that I don't like listening to. There's a few songs on Zizek's Road, like the first EP I really put out, that I'm like, you know, I didn't really know what I was doing here, and I can tell, you know what I mean? And so it's a little for me, you know what I mean? But as far as subject matter, no, not really. Not really.
Because like you said, like when you're writing your songs and you're writing your track and you're doing all that, you do a lot of research in what you're going to rap about.
Clearly.
If it's like a specific subject. And you already got all those feelings out already. Those feelings you already dealt with them, you're good. So now when you're performing it, you already got that emotion part out of it. Now it's time to just put it out to the people and have them enjoy this shit.
Yeah. So if there's anything, there's no subject matter things that I don't want to listen to. If it's anything, like I said, it's just I don't feel like my performance was up to par on some old shit, and I'm like, this is hard for me to listen to because all I think about is how it could be better.
You should take your old EP and remix all the songs.
I thought about that. Not all of them, but there's like "Meet Me at the Bottom" is a song that I think is really good still. There's a few things that I thought about, but I have so much shit that I'm sitting on that's like, is that what I want to spend my time doing? And not really. I think I'd like to find out what else I have to say.
Right.
I saw someone saying, I'm not talking shit about 66 Road. I love that album. But like, I noticed, like, obviously as an artist you're incredibly, self-critiquing all the time. And I hear things where I'm like, I wish I would have done this instead of that, or this, you know what I mean? Yeah.
100%. Well, that's we're our biggest, as an artist, we're our biggest critics, period. Like, and if you're not, you should be.
But that's like pushing yourself, though. That's pushing yourself to be better. And that's what all we can do is just keep on working, keep on grinding, and try to make whatever it is that you're putting out there, whether it be music, reactions, whatever the case is, it has to be the best that you can.
But it's also great going back, listening to the early shit, and then being able to see the growth and hear the growth in production, beats, lyrics, and kind of all of that other shit. So it's like the development and just the growth from an artist's perspective as well.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Who was the collab that you had that you were most stoked, pumped, and excited about doing on a track with? There's so many to choose from.
I mean, probably Apathy. Because that shit goes deep. You know what I mean? Like, hearing Apathy's voice right after mine is not something I thought I would ever hear in my lifetime. You know what I mean? Because I grew up like listening to Apathy and being blown away by what this guy does. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that would probably be the one for me. That was or Greaves was a similar thing. Because Greaves, I grew up listening, I was listening to Greaves before I started rapping. So when Greaves is on a song like that was the same sort of thing.
Dope. We here, Shakey Vibe Podcast. We live with your boy, Ekoh. Live with your boy, Ekoh. Shakey Vibe Podcast, episode 17. We're going to jump into another one of your tracks right now. I think it's time. I think the people have waited long enough. We're going to jump into Ekoh's Numb, your latest track that you just dropped.
Let's run it.
Oh, I already got the stank face going.
Let's go. Oh.
Maybe I just wanna be numb, wanna be numb, wanna be numb. Maybe I just wanna be numb, wanna be numb, wanna be numb. Maybe I don't wanna be loved, wanna be loved, wanna be loved. Maybe I just wanna be numb, wanna be numb, wanna be numb. Maybe I just wanna be in a different life, a different world, a different page, with a different mind, a different name. Cause all of these bad days turn to bad weeks, and a bad weeks turn to bad months, and the bad thoughts got you on edge of the rooftop, but you can't jump, you're stuck. Yeah, none of my friends are feeling the same. They're so blessed and happy in the skin, but I'm just so uncomfortable in mine. I'm probably just wound too tight, but look, take your pick, what you prefer. Broken bones or broken hearts or broken homes, I know what's worse, so let me sink. On too many pills to let me think I'm falling in another night alone with all these songs again, just waiting for the storm to pass, waiting till the seasons change, cause life is what you make it.
That production change is so fire.
I don't have a chance.
I think that's
Continue.
what sold me on that beat.
Every time I hear it,
the pre-chorus is what sold me on this song. The little
The little
switch up in
bridge
production.
breakdown, the switch up.
Yeah, that shit's fire.
Fucking dope.
Seasons change because life is what you make it. But I think that's just things they say, and I don't have a chance. So what's the point to run? I used to think I wanted out, but maybe I just wanna be numb. Wanna be numb. Wanna be numb. Maybe I just wanna be numb. Wanna be numb. Wanna be numb. Maybe I don't wanna be loved. Wanna be loved. Wanna be loved. Maybe I just wanna be numb. Wanna be numb. Wanna be numb. Maybe I just wanna be locked in my room. Anything take me away from reality. This city gotta take bad with the good, but I guess that I'm not very good at the balancing. Looking around at these people so easily, dealing with life on a practical level. Like, why the fuck can't I just learn to be normal? And really, what's normal? Like, what's a resemblance? A wasted potential. They think that I'm never surprised that somebody noticed me. Out of the fire, the heart is still broken, and so fucking tired of everyone knowing it. Holding in all of these feelings until I'm about to explode, and spend every moment just counting the seconds until I'm back alone. I just keep waiting for the storm to pass, waiting till the seasons change, cause life is what you make it. But I think that's just things they say, and I don't have a chance. So what's the point to run? I used to think I wanted out, but maybe I just wanna be numb. Wanna be numb. Wanna be numb. Maybe I just wanna be numb. Wanna be numb. Wanna be numb. Maybe I don't wanna be loved. Wanna be loved. Wanna be loved. Maybe I just wanna be numb. Wanna be numb. Wanna be numb. Maybe I just wanna be.
Fucking beats lit.
Dude, that beat's crazy sick.
But the flow also brought the beat to life as well. Like they both totally balanced each other out.
Well, Ekoh had a
Maybe I just
verse
wanna
together
be
as
numb.
well.
Wanna be numb. Wanna be numb. Maybe I just wanna be numb. Wanna be numb. Wanna be numb. Maybe I don't wanna be loved. Wanna be loved. Wanna be loved. Maybe I just wanna be numb. Wanna be numb. Wanna be numb. Maybe I just wanna be.
That was
Vibes.
Boy,
Ekoh. Numb. The chat went fucking crazy. And Stacy posted a comment that we all agree with. This deserves radio play.
that's a fact.
That would be cool.
Fact. Big fact.
Good old radio play. That'd be nice. We'll see.
You'll get that. You get it. You too nice not to. Come on, bro.
I don't really care. I'm not really even that concerned.
Well, whatever, Ekoh. I'm saying you're fire.
I appreciate it. No, I mean with radio play, like what's the radio anyways these days? You know what I mean?
Yeah, ain't nobody play. I don't play the radio. I have not played the radio since 1999.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Nico
saying.
saying, I bet if Ekoh did either or both a Harry Potter rap or Lords of the Ring rap, they would be magical.
Possible. I've never was like a huge on either of those. I was never a huge Harry Potter fan. I was never a huge Lord of the Rings fan, but my girl loves both of them, so I'm kind of I have to fuck with them.
I like the fact that I really, 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 really love the fact that your girl was in the video with you. I think that's
For the Save Yourself one
Save
or
Yourself
Butterfly or
Save yourself.
yeah.
That song. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean that
love
was you know, that was kind of a tough video to do. Just because of that, you know, it was very just it's a very vulnerable place to be in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Doing that song with the person they were with, you know what I'm saying?
no, for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's dope, though. The fact that you had her in there. Everybody's throwing off suggestions. If you're ever worried about what kind of content or what you should do next, everybody's throwing in a whole bunch of suggestions for you. So if you ever run out of suggestions, just peep
Video
this
game
chat.
rap, got that.
Video game, that would be fucking more than epic.
I gotta play
you
more
would-
video games. I don't play enough. I don't have time. You know what I'm
100%.
saying? I wish I don't have the attention span either. Like I'm 5 minutes in, I'm like, I don't care about this anymore.
I'm like that. I'm like that too. Like I could play a game, and for the first night that I play it, it's cool, and I'll just never pick it up again. I'm just like, yeah, it was fun for that moment, but what's new?
Honestly, playing a video game, and I'm like, yo, I should probably be writing or something right now.
I'm so nuts. When I play video games, even with my boys, my kids, I'm like, I'm so non-productive right now. Like I should be focusing on one of my businesses, writing just fucking something that's gonna like generate something. Like my businesses and my life are my outlets. I playing a video game, it would just be taking away from something else that I could be doing productively.
I feel that. Speaking of that, I do have I got to get into a session right now. I'm about to go hop into.
No worries, it's all good. Shakey Vibe Podcast. This was your boy, Ekoh.
I really appreciate you guys having me, man. This has been fucking awesome.
It is an honor and a pleasure to even have you next to me like this.
It ain't nothing, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
We appreciate you for doing this, for your time.
Can't wait for the new music that's coming out, brother. You know you got a reaction out of me.
I appreciate it a lot, guys, for real.
You got it, my brother. Thank you so much, guys. Stick around. Ekoh, once again, appreciate you, brother. Go to work.
Going in.
Shakey,
I'll talk to you guys soon.
Appreciate you, homie. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen,
boys and girls,
one of the best conversations we've had on the Shakey Vibe Podcast, my man Ekoh. Ekoh is fire. Shake, so you okay? Shake froze for a second. You all right?
No, my computer was playing major games with me there. But that was fine. That was good. We back. Shakey Vibe Podcast. That was your homie. That was Ekoh in the motherfucking his house. Appreciate that man for his time. For real, for real.
That man's music is ridiculous.
We got some pretty dope shit on the horizon coming up on this podcast as well, though.
Yes, we do.
Y'all just gonna have to wait for the posters.
They're gonna curse you the fuck out.
Y'all gonna wait for the posters.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Virginia. Thank you, everybody. We're not leaving, but
we're not leaving. We're gonna just shoot the shit. We're gonna have fun. You did
a great job, fantastic. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys coming through. Stick around. We're about to lose our fucking minds in a minute. Who we got on the track this week? Because don't we do our end of the week final thoughts? Our positive things that happened positive? Not like last week. You wanted to do some negative shit.
You asked me last week what was going on positive. There was so much shit that was going on fucking positive, but like this week was lit, bro. Like I hit a million plays. I'm about to hit 18,000 subscribers. Like
you at 17.7.
No, 9. Maybe 9 now.
You went to 9?
Almost. I was at 17.8 when we jumped on the podcast. My exact number is 17,824.
I got 16,402.
Brap!
Facts.
Brap, brap, brap. So yeah, like there's so much fucking good fucking shit going on, and then just you guys just honestly, we appreciate every one of you for taking the time out of your day, chilling with us, rocking with us, hanging out with us, vibing with us. And like the artists that we have coming up for you guys, the lineup is just fucking ridiculous.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. It just gets better and better.
And the feels that we're putting out there as well are equally as lit and equally as dope. So like there's a lot more coming up, man. And if there's artists that you guys want to see, like hit us up, man. You guys follow us on IG and DM us on some cats that you want to see. And we're going to be doing some other days with some other content and stuff like that on this channel as well. So it's not just going to be this one interview on the podcast for content. We're going to be definitely adding some more shit to this podcast for y'all, to this podcast channel for y'all.
Facts.
Facts like a fax machine.
I should start recording my videos in my hat backwards.
You had a pretty big week.
Huh?
You had a pretty big week. You had an eventful week.
My week was all right. It was all right. I ain't gonna lie to you.
You had a pretty dope phone call conversation.
I did have a phone call conversation with a certain somebody. Huh? Montana 300? That boy, dude, I'm telling you right now. Nico was there. Nico was in the call.
So for those of you that don't know what the fuck we're talking about, Ray got a text saying you should pop by Montana 300's live on Twitter. And what Ray didn't know what was going to happen that ended up happening is they brought Ray into the phone call conversation to 300's, to Montana's live Twitter. And what Ray didn't know was going to happen is Ray was going to go one-on-one with Montana. What did Montana do? What did Montana do? What was his reaction?
You know what was crazy about it? So I'm talking that the guys that run this NFT, they were asking me questions, and we were just shooting the shit. We were just talking, and Montana comes out of nowhere, and then his boy, one of the guys that run this NFT, pretty much said, "Hey, Montana, we over here, and we're talking to Ray Vibe from Vibe Reactions," and he said, "Hold on." Comes down and says, "Montana, it is on you." He said Nico's right there. He won't let me lie. He said every one-liner I had in all of his videos that I reacted to. Even throughout the conversation with everybody else, he was like my man Ray says, that's a fact with cheese on it. Come on, bro. Like that's I'm just listening to this shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Like that was the dopest fucking experience in the fucking world, bro.
But you know what? I said it, because we talk all the fucking time off camera, but like it's deserved, man. Like it's fucking deserved. It's deserved. All of these retweets, all of these fucking reposts, and all that shit is deserved.
I appreciate it, man. I mean, the network, baby. Come on, man.
The network. Brap, brap, brap. You know what? It seems like there's no artist here, so we really can't do that. So like.
You right there. Nobody's popped in as an artist.
No, they did. They definitely did. But at the end of the day, everybody's fucking.
We did Traumatose last week. Pause. Yep. We didn't do nothing to that man.
Huh?
I said we did Traumatose last week. It sounded weird.
Yo, I gotta ask a question. Because I wasn't able to join just because like my days are and my like when I like nighttime I'm sleeping. Did Larry win Melrose's fucking competition?
Yes, he did.
Like I thought he did, but I wasn't sure. Like, because during that competition, I'm sleeping. I had to wake up at I think it was like 5:30 in the morning my time just to make sure I'm there. Because if you're not there, you're disqualified. Larry won that shit. Oh my guy, man. I remember how I bucked up with Larry and how I hooked up with Larry was Larry dropped a verse on the Blind Sight 2 cipher. He entered it. And when we all heard that shit and we were all listening to each other's. And when I heard Larry's, I was like, yo, this dude's a fucking beast. He killed it. And then when we were doing the track 5 Deadly Venoms, Kahuna's idea, shout out Kahuna, I was like, yo, we need to get Larry on this track. And I'm so glad that fucking Larry hooked up with everybody in the network and fucking the work game and shit like that. And so that's how that shit came about, because I heard this dude's verse and was like, yo, I literally said to myself, why is this dude in this tournament? This dude's too good to be in this tournament. Went to his channel. I'm like, yo, why is this dude only have like, I think at that time he had like 75 subscribers. And I was just like, what? But like the network, baby, we fucking here, man. We here. So like Traumatos was on the Halloween Jackson Pierce cipher. Larry just won Mel's fucking competition.
Everybody in the network got belts, baby. We got belts.
I took the under 5K fucking Jackson Pierce cipher.
Big Kahuna finally got the operation to get the ball spot covered. Everyone's winning.
Yo, like the people, y'all gotta realize, like the network, man, we here and we for real with this shit. Like we here, baby. We here. The network, fucking the next wave.
Hold on. Traumatos sent me something. Hold on. I'm going to send you something real quick.
All right, we'll play this and then we got to dip. Wifey's like, wifey needs me. And I don't want to. I can take myself off camera. If you want to fuck around on here, you can fuck around on here yourself.
I got the wife thing to do.
Yeah. Okay. So send me this real quick, and I'm gonna pull this up.
Traumatos wants us to do premium deluxe.
All right, we'll do that, and then we'll do that to wrap up the show if that's cool with all y'all.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna send you what I just got right now.
All right. My Instagram's open. I'm waiting for you to send me the link.
Go ahead. I just said.
You didn't send me anything from Traumatos.
I did it. I said I'm sending you something separate from what Traumatos just sent me.
Who is that? Who I think it is?
Yeah.
Okay, because I want to say the name, but like we don't give out fucking feelers, so I'm just gonna fucking.
No,
Trauma sent you that.
No. Trauma sent me the track Premium Deluxe.
Okay, so send me Premium Deluxe. We'll play that, and we'll play that out to wrap up the podcast. But what you just sent me is pure fire.
That's a fact. With cheese on it.
Okay, so
yeah. By the way, yes. We have the network has a Twitter page now. So those of you that are not subscribed to the Twitter page for the network, go ahead and do that real quick.
all right, right now we got Traumatos Premium Deluxe.
Hey, yo. Some niggas is good. Some niggas is great. Then you got them niggas. It's like Premium Deluxe. That's where Trauma come in. My ball game is something spectacular. Phenomenal. Upper echelon. Look, close to stardom, flow crazy like postpartum. Games of circus full of clowns, nigga, no Barnum. Granted, full of shells, nigga, no carton. Ops clutching on their guts like my foes starving. Froze carving, surely adorned neck and arm. Was on the string of crimes like your boy collected yarn. Niggas like death because the weapon
Fire.
Green running wild like grass at neglected farms. Collected arms. I'm gazing for wartime. Was Muslim pre-choice, always our board swine. Like Randall Lane and Steven, been on the Forbes grind. Environmental with the kush, I need some more pine. Like it's tour time, truly I'm maneuvered stages. Was catching up like I flew to Vegas. Like homework in the wind, how I blew through pages of paper notes I collected in my school ages. Was locked in zoo cages.
Collected
Jungle was
notes
my
I collected in my school.
trying to test out, but trauma ain't a cataract. A paper note like I flew to Vegas. Like homework in the wind, how I blew through pages of paper notes I collected in my school ages. Was locked in zoo cages. Jungle was my habitat. Nigga tried to test out, but trauma ain't a cataract. I'll sure pick the nigga, Dangerville and Caddyshack. Extra with the beef like I bought it in a family pack. Your family whack boxed up like the Brady thing. They wanna test out some Rome with some lady G's. They playing bench to pair the lady scenes. Stick marking niggas' faces up, called Maybelline. Crazy scenes like schizophrenics with finger pain. Hyping niggas up in ways Jerry Springer came. Everything I am is everything rap singers ain't. Trauma tones really sound off like phone ringers fame. Like beasties can't survive without a bottom line. The trenches cook a lot of hate on us, Columbine. How niggas losing their head, that sleepy hollow grind. Really crushing niggas like grapes, we call it bottle wine. Like phone ring.
Sorry, my fucking mouse keeps freezing.
Rap singers ain't. Trauma tones.
What?
Did you hear what he said?
I heard everything he said.
Bring
Dude.
it back a bit, please.
I did.
Really sound off like phone ringers fame. Like beasties can't survive without a bottom line. The trenches cook a lot of hate on us, Columbine. How niggas losing their head, that sleepy hollow grind. Really crushing niggas like grapes, we call it bottle wine.
Woo! Trauma, relax. Dude, Trauma is so fucking dope, bro. It ain't even fucking funny. Trauma is so damn dope.
Man, I hate to do this. I really fucking hate to do this, but my wife is calling me. I gotta go.
Brother,
I gotta dip. I don't fucking want to end it like this. I want to keep going for at least another fucking hour. So I think what Ray's gonna do is Ray's gonna go live now.
don't do that. You go tell Stacy. Stacy will fuck you up.
All right, everybody, we love you. We hate to fucking wrap this up so fucking early. Shaky Vibe Podcast, episode 17. This was the episode with your boy, your homie, Ekoh, in the fucking house.
And stay tuned to the poster that we got coming next week.
And the one after that, and the one after
And
that.
the one after that. And then the one after that.
Shit's about to fucking continually get litty. Shout out to the network. Shout out to the fucking homie Larry for taking down the ship and taking down this fucking taking number one spot. We appreciate each and every one of you for chilling out, hanging out, vibing out. Shakes P. That is Vibe Reactions.
We out. Love you guys. Talk to you guys later. Hey.